You clicked on this video because you're running a clothing brand and you're struggling to get as many sales as you want through your website. And I'm telling you right now that the issue with your clothing brand, the reason why you're not getting very many sales through your website, isn't because of the marketing techniques you're putting out and the marketing strategies that you're doing. The issue with your clothing brand, the reason why you're not getting very many sales through your website and for your clothing brand in general, is because you as a clothing brand owner don't quite yet understand, to the extent that you need to, the value that your clothing brand is offering your audience. You might think that you do, and you're probably sitting there going, yeah, right, I totally know that. I know what my brand's offering. I know why people want to buy. It's because my brand's sick. It's because my brand's cool. But it's not. It's not, because you haven't gotten clear yet exactly on why people are going to want to buy your clothing over the other brands that exist out there. I'm telling you that this is the issue because I've done hundreds of brand reviews. This is the problem with 99.9% of them. There's only a few where I've received the brand review and I go, wow, this actually, they seem like they know exactly why people are buying. And the ones that do, they sign up for brand reviews, and they're the ones that are getting hundreds and hundreds of orders every single month. So in this video, I'm going to talk to you about how to get clear on the value that your brand is offering for real, so that you can start working this into your brand and start increasing sales for your brand in the right way that's really going to make this work for you. Apparel Success is sponsored by my buds over at Design Crowd. If designs are something that you struggle with, I recommend that you give them a shot. You post a project on Design Crowd, amazing designers from all around the world are going to compete for your project. You choose the winner, then you get that design plus revisions. All 3 of these designs sell like fire through my website, and I got them all made through Design Crowd. If you're interested, head over to designcrowd.com/apparel to learn about the special offer that I have for you, or just use the discount code apparel when you post a project on Design Crowd. Most clothing brands think that the issue with not having sales is their marketing strategies. They think that the reason why they're not selling is because their Facebook ads and their TikTok ads. But as long as you're getting in front of people, people should be buying. If you're getting in front of the right people, people should be buying. So if you think you're getting in front of the right people and they're not buying, the issue isn't your marketing strategy. The issue is that people aren't seeing any value in your brand. They don't care about your brand because your brand isn't cool enough, it's not connecting in the right way, and it's not triggering in their brains that it's something that they want. Plain and simple, straight up, that's the reason. People aren't seeing your brand as valuable enough. That might hurt some people. That might make you feel kind of like, oh crap, my brand's not cool enough, it's not there yet. But that's the reason. If they wanted it, they'd buy it. They're not buying it because they don't want it. So how do we get it so that people want it? Well, you have to first figure out what people want. What are the reasons why people want to buy clothing? And get very clear with your own clothing brand on those reasons why somebody would really want to buy your clothing brand. Like desperately want to buy it to the point where they literally are willing to pull out money to buy it. I know that anytime I've made a purchase online for clothing, it's almost every time me being like, oh, I really don't want to spend money, but like that shirt, I need it. And then I buy it. It's never like, oh, I'm just going to go casually shopping for clothes online. It's like, ah, man, I need this shirt. Like I need to buy it right now. I don't really want to spend the money, but like I need to buy it. That's the response that you want to be getting out of people. So let's talk about value, and let's talk about how we can get clear on this for your own brand. What I'm about to share with you is actually really simple. It's just that most clothing brands that are starting up literally aren't aware of this at all. So it's hard to execute on something that you don't even know is a problem. There are only 4 reasons why people buy clothing. And with your clothing brand, you need to offer 1 or more of these reasons to your audience. The 4 reasons why people buy clothing, number 1 is emotion. They feel emotional about your brand. They want to support the movement of your brand. They think your brand is funny. They think your brand represents something that they're passionate about. Maybe it's like a political movement or, a culture, like a country or a city or something like that. Emotion. That's the first reason why somebody would buy clothing. Number 2 is status. People buy clothing because what they wear on their body is a representation of who they are, the type of person that they are, the type of social status and where they rank in the social hierarchy. So people will wear brands like Gucci and high-end designer brands that cost like $700 for a t-shirt that probably cost $20 to make because the brand represents high status. And the fact that those items cost so much is filtering out the people who can't afford it, which is showing that you have a certain status. That's why Rolex watches cost like $70,000. It's because if you can't afford it, you're not going to buy it. So you know that if you're wearing Rolex, you are of high status or you have a certain amount of money or wealth. And it's the same thing with cars. Okay, so emotion or status. The third one is aesthetic. How does your clothing actually look? The style of your clothing. Maybe you're a very talented designer and you can work into your brand designs that are way better than the competition and they're just sick. Like you're really talented with designs, or you're really talented at creating shapes of clothing and styles of clothing that people like really want to wear. Those are the 3 main ones. And the 4th reason why somebody might buy your clothing is because of the utility value that the clothing's offering. So if you're going like snowboarding or something, maybe it's like a warmer jacket than the other one. Or maybe there's a pocket to hold your phone or your ski pass or something like that. It serves a utility value. Okay? That can also be something that you're offering through your clothing. But those are 4 reasons. Which one is it for your own clothing brand? Is it emotion, like what my clothing brand is? My clothing brand, K-Bud, literally is a Canadian niche lifestyle brand that is going after a subculture in Canada that has a particular identity, and the main reason why people buy my clothing is because it's funny. It gets them laughing, and they say things like, when they're buying, like, oh my God, we say this all the time. This is exactly how we talk in rural Canada. And they're passionate about that. And they're patriotic about that. They're proud to be Canadian, to speak the way that we speak, and to be the way that we are. And so that's why people buy my clothing brand. I'm not focused on elevating people's status. I'm not even focused really on the design aesthetic. My designs, obviously, I want them to look as good as I possibly can. But, I'm not trying to compete with like these other brands where that's how they sell, is like because their clothing looks so cool. The way that I sell is primarily emotion. That's the main value that my brand's offering. And I know that. And because I know that, it's so easy when it comes to marketing and getting my brand out there and how I design my brand and how I've built my website, because that's everything. That's what I'm selling, is the emotion, is the patriotism, and it's the humor. And people are willing to spend money to wear on their body something that they're proud of, to be Canadian. They're proud to speak that way, and they want people that are looking at them and people that are around them in their friend groups to get the same laughs out of it that they're getting out of it, and to get that same feeling of being Canadian and ridiculously Canadian. Nailing that. Can you say that about your own brand? Do you have that level of understanding about your own brand and why people will want to buy? It doesn't have to be emotion either, right? It can be status. Maybe your brand is like really high-end luxury wear and you're charging like $400 and you're getting onto these like high-end influencers and these like celebrities, and having people wear your brand is like elevating your status. It's a lot harder to pull off, but maybe that's what you're going for, and that's totally cool. As long as you know that, then you can develop your brand to be offering that kind of value. And then the other one is aesthetic. Like maybe your brand just represents something simple. The brand messaging doesn't really matter all that much. Maybe you're just like a streetwear brand and you started up your brand and you're selling your brand. The reason why people are going to buy is because the designs are so good. Like maybe the designs are just so good and the aesthetic of your clothing is so good, or the cut and shape of your clothing is so sick and good looking that people will want to buy it purely because of how it looks aesthetically on the body. If you don't know which of those categories your brand falls into, you're not going to make very many sales for your brand. People are going to show up at your website and they're going to go, this just looks like every other brand. They just slap some stuff on some t-shirts. The designs are mediocre. The brand hasn't really captured me. I'm not really sucked in. I don't really know like what they're representing. I can't really sink my teeth into anything. And then they're going to leave. And most brand owners are kind of delusional about this. They think that people will just buy because they've created something, but it doesn't work like that. I know I've talked about this on the channel before, but it was so worth repeating because so many clothing brands don't really truly appreciate this. They don't truly appreciate that they don't know what their brand is really offering if they're being dead honest with themselves. And I would love to hear in the comments of this video, which type of value are you offering for your clothing brand? Which one is it? Is it emotion? Is it aesthetic? Is it status? Is it utility value? Which one of those four is it and how? Get clear on it. Work that out. Write it out. Like get really clear on it. That's going to help you like crazy. Everything will be developed from that place. If it's emotion, focus on emotion then. On your website, like all the words that you use, all the messaging, just bang, bang, bang. You're like connecting on every possible level, and even on your, designs, you can have like certain sayings or certain design styles that are really bringing out that emotion that you're trying to resonate with. And if it's aesthetic, then, the whole shape of your website's going to look how you want it to look. And I mean, if you're doing aesthetic, you're likely talented enough to pull that off. And so, I just think that that's such a powerful message. You have such an advantage, I'm telling you, knowing this and understanding this on this level than any of these other clothing brands that are starting up that have no idea about this. If you've heard this message and if you've gotten this is like gold for clothing brands, okay? It's completely changed the way that I'm able to get results for my brand. It's changed brands that I've helped. It's changed brands that I work with and friends that are running brands. And, this is really... the unlock is going deep into that and solving that for your own brand. So I hope that helped. If you got a lot of value out of this video, hit the like button for me. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments below. And if you haven't already, check out my free clothing brand marketing masterclass. All you have to do to get access is go to apparelsuccess.com/masterclass, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.